Guys, I will be dictating two passages every day, one general and one legal. So subscribe to my channel for latest updates. 5 seconds. I would like to say that it is said that in our country there are a large number of people, ex-princes and landlords who are in possession of huge areas of land. They have very big farms. You have passed law restricting the limit to 18.5 acres of land. Then how do they possess so much of land? If excess land is in their possession, it should be acquired from them. But why do you take it for granted that if there are mistakes or if somebody is forcibly in possession of land in violation of the law, then he is engaged in cultivation? It could not be the basis for imposition of tax. You take 18 acres as a basis, it is 10 acres in Odisha, and in some other states the limit is 15 acres. Whatever limits are there, these should be adhered to, and these ceiling limits should be implemented accordingly. You are aware that earlier a tractor used to cost 5,000 to 10,000 of rupees, but now its price has gone up to rupees 1 lakh or rupees 2 lakh. Now, how is it possible to undertake farming on 5 to 10 acres of land? How can a farmer do farming with such high prices of fertilizers? One gentleman from Bihar spoke. It is a coincidence that Bihar is our neighboring state. Being a neighboring state, we the residents of UP sometimes feel satisfied that Bihar is also not away from us. If we look to the other side, our heads are hung in shame because the situation is very bad there. Para, there is a canal called Sharda Canal in our state, and the technicians who guide us said that one more canal as big as this one may be dug out. Its water could be diverted in the other canal. The results of these two canals is that it has caused the problem of seepage along 300 yards of stretch on both the sides, and there is no remedy for it. There are such farmers in hundreds of villages who have now stopped the agricultural work, and they have hung their plugs in their houses, and now they do not undertake farming anymore. Para, so far as the process of population growth in the countryside is concerned, there has not been any planning as to where the houses would be constructed for the additional population which is increasing. Para, now I come to a very basic question. Some people feel that we are not treating the two superpowers on equal footing, that our policy is tilted in favor of Soviet Union. The advocates of genuine non-alignment want us to be equidistant between the two superpowers. Our policy is one of friendship with everybody, every country, and we are making efforts to that end. But sir, please note that friendship is a two-way traffic. It cannot flow only in one direction. That is the key point to be noted when we talk of our relations with USSR or USA. Para, sir, what are the facts? Let us see where these superpowers stand on some vital issues with which we are deeply concerned. On Kashmir issue, the Soviet Union was on our side, America was against us. On the issue of Goa, the same thing happened. At the time of Bangladesh crisis, during the crisis, we signed a friendship treaty with the Soviet Union. And what America did? They sent the 7th Fleet towards this country to threaten us into submission. I am speaking very briefly, madam, that on these vital issues in the last 40 years, on Kashmir, on Goa and Bangladesh, we found the Soviet Union to be on our side, and we found America on the other side against us, not only on the other side but against us. How can we put them on the same footing? Take the case of economic development. Yes, we have trade relations, economic relations with USA. Good. But in the matter of laying down a strong foundation for India's industrialization in this country, the Americans have done nothing for us, whereas the Soviet Union has come forward to help us in all respects in laying down, I repeat, in laying down a strong foundation for industrialization in the interest of self-reliance. I give only one example if there is any doubt anywhere. Take the case of Bokaro plant. This point is important. When the Bokaro plant was proposed by the government, we first approached the Americans for help, technical help, financial help, and they immediately put down the condition that it must be in the private sector. Who are they to tell us whether we want to have it in the private sector or public sector? It is our sovereign responsibility and sovereign policy.